Hi, and welcome to Conan Exiles, Age of Calamitous. In this video, I'm going to show you how to learn Divine Magic. The way to learn Divine Magic has been changed after the December 8 update. We will also talk about Ascensions on how to upgrade your Divine Magic and locations of the secret spells that you can learn as well. So if you think that this guide would be of use to you, sit back, enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video so that we can share it to those who might need this updated guide. You can start learning the Divine Magic by going to the Faction Hall and taking a quest from Grandmaster Farangar. So for the Divine Magic, it is recommended that you are level 60 in order for you to perform the quest. Now you have to make sure that you read the quest details carefully. So for the Divine Magic, find and learn Divine Attunement from Priestess of the True God. She is located somewhere in L8. But before we head to L8, we have to make sure that we have a skeleton key because you will be needing that for this quest. So all you need to do is get it from one of the world bosses. Alright, we already got a skeleton key, and now we head to L8. As a point of reference, this is the L8 of the map, and this is the whole grid, but the one that you're looking for is right here, in this location. Now, aside from the snakes and the spiders in this location, you will have to face the Servants of Raids, and one of the bosses, which is Zynaris. So you have to get rid of them because the NPC that you're looking for this quest is right behind these bars. Now, once you have already gotten rid of the mobs and also the boss, you can already go in and talk to the NPC. So this is the reason why we need the skeleton key for. Because without the skeleton key in your inventory, you will not be able to open the gates. And here is Priestess of the True God. Learn the Attunement of Divinity. And report the completion of Magic Divine Soul Ascension. Complete quest. Say goodbye and press E again to talk so that you can get the next quest, which is attuned to the Divine Shrine located close to the top of the Palace of the Witch Queen at 06. So this is where we're going to interact with the actual shrine for the Divine Magic, and we're no longer gonna die when we do that because we have already attuned or learn the attunements of divinity from Priestess of the True God. Receive the quest. There we go. Magic Attunement. Alright, so we're already here at the Palace of the Witch Queen. So for your reference, our mission is telling us to go to 06. So this is 06. But somehow it's also involving 05 because you can go through here or here. This is the Palace of the Witch Queen, which is pretty much like in between 06 and 05. But this is your target structure right here. And I'll show you how to climb up because it's gonna be tricky. There are only very few spots here that you can use to safely climb up. And by this level, you shouldn't have any problems with your grit because you will be needing a lot of stamina in this situation. Alright, so once you're already here in this location, all you gotta do is to go to the right. And then you can use this here to climb up. Alright, so we have passed the first hurdle. Let's proceed. Okay, we're doing well so far. And in my case, I usually use the right side of this structure. Here we go. And one more floor up, and we should be there on the shrine location. So one thing that I have learned in this part of the building that you're climbing, if you're gonna use the actual edge or ledge, left and right, it will most likely bug out and you're going to fall. So what I do, and this is 100% foolproof, I use the stones surface. There we go. So that's what's gonna happen if you're gonna use the actual edge. I'm gonna do it again. And this time I will make sure that I am in the center of the stone. Like really in the middle. There you go. And then I will go to the left. And just to make sure, you go further and then you drop. So here it is. Here's the Divine Magic Shrine. If you will touch or interact the Divine Magic Shrine without attuning first with the Priestess, you're going to die of power or magic overload. So just a tip. Attuning now. And voila. The Divine God. So now I have already acquired. Let me just double check the feats. There you go. Now I have already acquired the Divine Magic, or what we also call the Light Magic. Now, time to go back to the Priestess and report our completion. And she will be the one to tell us what we need to do next so that we can finally craft our light or divine magic weapon. And we're back with the Priestess of the True God. By the light. We're done with this. Complete quest. And we click her again for the third and the last quest. So this is the actual quest for us to acquire the Tome of Divinity, for us to craft the altar and also to craft the weapons for the divine magic. And we can find it at F1. Okay, so before we go to F1 and do the last quest for the divine magic, we need to make sure that we have 30 Fireblooms. So this will be the required item for you to exchange and get the Tome of the Divine Magic. Now, the Tome of the Divine Magic is required for you to build the Altar of Divinity, where we can craft our divine magic weapon. So don't forget to bring this. And if ever you don't have 30 Fireblooms as of the moment, all you need to do is come to N6 right here in the Black Garden, right next to the Palace of the Witch Queen, which we climbed earlier for the shrine, and you can harvest the black lotuses in this area, and it will give you Fireblooms. Now, this is the only location where you can get black lotuses, and that goes without saying. This is the only place where you can get the Fireblooms as well. So you just make sure that you bring your mask, because the whole place is noxious and it will poison you. And always bring your best sickle, because this resources is very limited. So F1 is right here on the map, and the location of our NPC for the Tome of Divine Magic is right here. However, with the new changes for the new Age of Calamitous, going through this direction from the faction hall or here, you're going to encounter a lot of difficult mobs and bosses, and Ilarican Plague mobs as well, and bosses as well. So maybe your option is to go through here, but the bad thing is this area is also guarded by Scourge Hounds. So pretty much around here, you may have to fight your way through Scourge Hounds in order for you to get here in F1. However, I was able to find a location where you can safely pass without having to fight any mobs or bosses, and it's currently working with the current version of the game, but this might change in the future. So this is gonna be a huge spoiler alert, especially for those who want to feel the thrill of the adventure going through here or here, fighting mobs, going to F1. So, if you don't want this spoiler about the path that I used to go to this quest location, you better skip this video to the next segment, because in the next 5 seconds, I will already show on how I did it. Alright. Okay, so it seems that you're still there, so it means you probably want to see how I did it. Alright, let's get on with it. So, in order for you to go to the location that I found, where you don't have to fight anyone or anything, you need to go here at the end of this bridge by the Noob River. So, this place should be familiar, especially for those who are Cold Embrace in faction. So the only thing that you need to fight here are these guys, and they're quite easy. Especially this quest would require you, or would recommend for you to be level 60 at least to actually take. Alright. So this is the location right here. So all you need to do is just jump on that platform, that ledge, and then we climb up. And there's a camp for the Cold Embrace here. They're not aggro, and to prove that, I'm going to show you that I'm not gonna be in cloak mode. Cheat panel, get the cloak, and then I'm just going to go no sprint cost so that I will be able to run all the way to F1. Alright, let's do it. Let's jump. Okay, the imp was about to attack me. Here we go. Okay. And this place will tend to get, dark. So maybe you want to consider pumping up your gamma to 3. There we go. Better visibility. Alright, so I have no sprint cost, but this is totally doable. So again, suggested level is 60, so you should have enough grit to climb this high. Alright, there we go. So as you can see, I'm not cloaked. And they're not attacking me. Of course, they're gonna attack you once you start attacking them. Now, if you know who this person is, this is Lucia Rose the Weaver. It's the only named armorer for AOC. So that's Lady Errynaya for those who are looking for her. And let me see. And we have a Cold Embrace Commander. That's a high tier thrall for the Cold Embrace. Now, let's begin the journey going to F1. Alright, so here at the crossroads, you will see a bear. So that's not a boss, this is a normal bear, and some frost hounds, the pets of the Cold Embrace. So you take the right. Alright, so once you get here in this crossroad, and you see this stub right here, you will see a torch. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a torch in there. That's where you need to go. So you go to the left. And the person that you're looking for this quest is this guy. Champion of the True God. You interact. And you should be able to purchase Tome of Divinity for 30 Firebloom. So 30 Firebloom. To double check, there you go. Tome of Divinity. So now we can go home and craft our altar. So here we go, Altar of Divinity, and that will require us to have a Tome of Divinity, which we already acquired, and we should be able to craft our Divine Magic Weapon. Okay, so we're already home, and we are crafting our Altar of Divinity. The Tome of Divinity plus 25 Shapewood. Crafting, and we will be placing it right next to our fire magic altar. Right. So here. And there you go. Okay, so it's time to make our divine magic weapon. So we need the Tome of Divinity, 5 ink, 10 crescent water, and 15 Firebloom. So we have that. And that. Hit craft. It's not going to play right away. So you need to make sure you play that, but you have to also make sure that it has fuel. Now, the Altar of Divinity runs in Uncut Topaz or any Topaz, the Shard or the full form. Just make sure you have enough fuel to craft whatever you need to craft. Now, while that's crafting, I'm going to show you where to craft the ink and the crescent water. Now, you can craft the ink and the crescent water in the alchemy desk. You just have to make sure that your feats, survival, and under the art of craft, your apothecary is already unlocked. That will enable you to craft the alchemy desk, also unlocking the crafting for the ink and also for the crescent water. Now, for this too, especially the crescent water, you may have to do a lot of grinding. The Fragment of Purity, it's just here. And here are the base material. Now, this video is not going to be focusing on those, since we will be focusing only on how we can create and upgrade the divine magic. And our divine magic weapon is done. We have to craft our ammo as well, because this thing is pretty much useless without an ammo. So the ammo, Firebloom and Uncut Topaz, so you will be doing a lot of visits to the Black Garden for that. So let's craft this. Let me just craft one. Play. And every craft will give you 10 ammos. There we go. Our ammo is done. So I will try and put my weapon in the hotbar and drag the ammo, and it should be ready to use. Divine magic. That looks so cool. Alright. Let's see how we can do upgrades for our divine magic. Now, before you can do upgrades, it will require you to have the Tome of Divinity Ascensions, Volume 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it will also require you Holy Power Gems. Now, this will be the harvesting weapon that you will be using to get the Holy Power Gems from any humanoid mob. So as long as it's in humanoid form, you should be able to get the Holy Power Gems. So it is essential that you craft this so that when you go around and hunt for NPCs and fight mobs, you can harvest at the same time the holy power gems. So let's craft this. It requires 10 aluminum or aluminium, 5 mystical dusts, and 3 topaz. There we go. Crafting. And hit play. Now, while that's crafting, let me show you how to craft or where to craft the mystical dust, and also where to get or where to craft the topaz. So for the mystical dust, the same as the ink and the crescent water, all you need to do is go to the alchemy desk and it should be here. Now it requires you a mystical plant and aurora herb, so if you already know where to get those, then you shouldn't have any problems. Now for the topaz, you need to have a gem crafting bench, and in order for you to have a gem crafting bench, you need to unlock the art of craft under gem crafting. So this will allow you to craft the gem crafting bench and convert uncut gems to shards and shards to the actual gem itself. Alright, so our soul ascension harvesting weapon is already done. Or harvesting tool. There we go. And just like what I recommended in my previous videos, you have to use the advanced reinforcement kit for your harvesting tool, because putting an advanced tool upgrade kit is not really going to increase its yield. So since the yield for the harvesting tools for all the magic is fixed in number, then it's not going to change the number of power gems that you're gonna get, since it's already fixed. So might as well use the advanced reinforcement so that you can increase the durability of your tool. As of the moment, it's 550, and when I put that, it's 700. But at least you will be able to use that for a long time before it needs repairs. Alright, so I just have murdered some pirates in the Black Galleon just to show how our harvesting tool works, the Soul Ascension. Here we go. There you go. Okay. Alright, so that gave us 10 holy power gems. Alright, so I also took the liberty to craft one more soul ascension, and I will try putting an advanced upgrade toolkit to show you what I meant earlier when I said fix rate. So I'm just gonna put it here. Keep this one, and then as you can see, we are using the one with the tool upgrade toolkit. Let me just get rid of that one, and let's murder some pirates. Alright, so we have 4 corpses. So if this is gonna give us extra yield because we're using the upgrade toolkit, then it should be 8, or at least more than 4. But if it's just gonna give us 4, that only means one thing. The yield for the harvesting tool for all magic, including Soul Ascension, is fixed, and it's not gonna make any difference if you will put an upgrade toolkit or not. Harvesting. And let's check. So earlier we have 10. So now we should have more than 14 if the upgrade toolkit worked. Alright, so we only have 14. So as you can see, the yield is just fixed. Now that we have the Soul Ascension to harvest holy power gems, all we need to do is to acquire the Tome of Divine Ascension Volume 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now off we go to the Unnamed City, because the Unnamed City has 5 spawn points for the Scourge bosses, and the Ascensions that we're looking for the Divinity, the tomes can be looted from the Scourge bosses. Now, the Tome of Divinity Ascension Volume 1 can be looted from the Scourge Crocodile. There we go. We just have to be careful with the Alarican Plague. And there you go. So once you already have the Tome of Divine Ascension Volume 1, you can already go back to the shrine in the Palace of the Witch Queen, and you can already ascend your very first upgrade or Magic Ascension. So this only requires you to be level 25, so you should be able to do that right away. The Tome of Divine Ascension Volume 2 can be looted from the Scourge Gargoyle. So again, be careful with the Alarican Plague. I am not currently affected because I'm in God mode for demonstration purposes. So there you go, Tome of Divine Ascension Volume 2. And once you already have 70 Holy Power Gems, you can go back to the shrine again and do your second Ascension. The second Ascension only requires you to be level 40, and since this quest has recommended you to be level 60, then this is something that you can do right away. The Tome of Divine Ascension Volume 3 can be looted from the Scourge Rhino. Then again, be careful with the Alarican Plague. And there you go. Tome of Divine Ascension Volume 3. Now that you already have the Tome of Divine Ascension Volume 3, and you have 150 Power Gems to pair with that, you can go back to the shrine again to do your third Ascension. But remember, this Ascension will require you to be level 80. Now, the fourth Tome of Divine Ascension, and also the last one, the Volume 4, can be looted from the Scourge Dragon. There we go. Tome of Divine Ascension, Volume 4, and you pair that with 300 Power Gem, and your level must be 120. You can already go back to the shrine and do your final Ascension. And as you can see, the Tome volumes are not consumable, so you should be able to share it with your clan or your friends so that they can also do their Divine Ascension if they are learning Divine Magic. The secret spell for the Divine Magic can be found inside the passage. So for your reference, the passage is here in K9. And for those who have seen my previous videos, this is not a very fun place to actually go. Nonetheless, if you are a Felgarth, since this magic spell is only exclusive for Felgarths, then I think it will be worth it, since this secret spell is for cleansing. So it's a cleanse magic spell. It's located in the waterfall right in the middle. So I'm currently in God mode, so I'm just gonna jump right in. And the tablet is here. Again, this is only exclusive for Felgarth, so if you are learning Divine Magic and you're not Felgarth, you cannot learn this spell. There we go. You have learned a new feat, the old teachings. I'm gonna check my feats. And here we go. Cleanse. And the last spell for Divine Magic, and probably the most coveted spell at the same time, the Divine Light. So the Divine Light is an AoE that has an OP cleansing and healing at the same time. So if you are in a clan, then it will be advisable that at least one of your players will be learning the Divine Light. Now, the thing is that after the December 8 update, it seems that there has been a change. So let me show you. I'll go to my religion and I used my PP to learn Syndicate. That's one of the sub-factions for Felgarth, and also the House of Stormcaller. So before, the Divine Light can be learned if you are a member of the House Stormcaller, but now it's the other way around. So you need to be under the Holy Syndicate sub-faction, and you need to be level 120 in order for you to learn the Divine Light spell. Now, if you go to the House of the Stormcallers, you will not be able to learn the Divine Lights anymore. Only if you are under the Holy Syndicate sub-faction. And that is all for this guide, you guys, and I do hope you find this helpful. If you do, please leave a like and smash that subscribe button for fresh tips and tricks for Conan Exiles, Age of Calamitous. You can also leave a comment below for requests of guides and walkthroughs that you want us to cover, or any recommendations on how we can make our content better in our future videos. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and bye for now, you guys.